Hi, I'm Scott Humphrey with the World Floor Covering Association, and this is Leadership Live. And this week on The Lead Story, we continue with the subject matter of change. In fact, you hear me talk about this over and over, and you think, is he going to talk about anything else? I will, but there may be nothing more pertinent to the success of a leader than their ability to change. Either you create the change or you adapt to someone else's. And sometimes change is difficult, as we talked about last week, because of what someone else has told you, what they've made you believe. And the reality is, it's not the person who tells you, but the one who chooses to believe it that is the challenge. That's the one we're trying to change. Last week we talked about the fact that Houdini thought that he was locked in a cell, but the cell was never locked. But there are other things that can make change difficult. Sometimes a strength can make it difficult for you to change. We find a comfort zone in our strength, and we refuse to look at what else is possible for us. I was a vocal performance major, church music vocal performance at Belmont University. I could sing, and I came from small towns where I was the kid who sang at weddings and funerals, and so I believe that was the thing I was supposed to pursue. And because I had a strength in that, it somewhat blocked me from the fact that there were other things where I could be having an impact. And it took me years, although it's been years since then, that I realized music was not what I was going to pursue with my life, and ultimately over the years began to realize my passion for leadership. The story is told of a young man who played piano at a piano bar in Southern California. He was pretty amazing. In fact, he was known for his piano prowess. People would come in and listen, and they would light up a smoke, and they would sit and talk and chat, and they would have this beautiful jazz music playing in the background. Until one specific day when there was a bad storm. And it never rains in Southern California, but this time it did. And some people had to come into the bar that were not part of the normal crew. And one of them was somewhat inebriated. And he decided that he wanted the piano player to do more than play the piano. He wanted him to sing. And so he began to shout, "Hey, buddy, sing something." And the piano player said, "I prefer to play." He said, "Come on, buddy, listen, we're all in here. All I want you to do is to sing something." But the piano player continued to focus on playing his beautiful jazz melodies. But finally, others around said, "Hey, you know what? We kind of like to hear him sing too." And the entire group began to really get on this piano player for not singing. And the owner came out and he said, "Listen, man, I need you to sing or I need you to leave because they're getting unruly. So can you sing something?" And that day, Nat King Cole, who was known until that point as an amazing pianist, sang with a voice that is unmatched before or after. See, it wasn't that Nat King Cole didn't think he could sing. It's that he was known as a piano player long before he was known as a vocalist. And then over time, he began to develop his vocal quality. Listen, I don't know what your strengths are. And maybe you're blessed that you have multiple strengths. But you might be focusing on the wrong one. Maybe it's time to change what your focus is and begin to look at what is really possible for you. Do some behavioral profiles. Understand what your strengths are. Make sure that you're plugged in, because the only way to fulfill your purpose is to be aligned with your purpose. I want you to understand change is possible. It was for Nat King Cole. Most of us now know him as a singer, not even as a pianist. But go back and research and you'll find out that his story changed. And yours can too. Go out there and live the story that you want others to tell.